So let us start with the 10th lecture of digital signal processing, and in this lecture we will study some of very interesting and useful properties related to convolution operation. As you know that convolution is defined to obtain the output of a system whose impulse response is known to us. Suppose if impulse response is Hn and applied input is Xn, so output is represented this way. Output is convolution of Xn, means applied input. This is the applied input, and this is the impulse response. Impulse response of whom? Impulse response of the system. If impulse response of the system is known to us, then we can determine the output for any given input, provided the system which we are talking about or whose output has to be evaluated. If input is given to us, it should possess the property of linearity and time invariance. Means this system should be linear time invariant system. This system should be linear as well as time invariant. So some of the properties which are based on this linearity and time invariance are, the very first property is if Xn or Hn is shifted by say N0, so is Yn. Okay, this property says that if Xn convolves with Hn results into Yn, then if say Xn is shifted by N0 amount and now it is convolved with Hn, so the Yn will also be shifted by the same amount N0. Okay. In other words, if Hn is shifted by say amount N0 and it is being convolved with Xn, so is the Yn. Okay. You can directly apply this property to obtain convolution of any given signal. Now the second property says that the sum of samples of Xn, Hn and Yn, they are related as if we sum up all the samples in Yn ranging from say n equals to minus infinity to infinity, and we sum up all the samples present in input signal ranging from say n equals to minus infinity to infinity, and we sum up all the samples present in Hn ranging from n equal to minus infinity to infinity, and we get product of these two, it will be equal to the sum value of Yn. This is applied for the consistent check of output that we have obtained because of the convolution. Just to make it more clear, I will take an example. Suppose we have two signals, rather one is system having impulse response 1 2, 2, 3, and input is like say 2, -1 and 3 having origin at 2. How I will obtain the yn means convolved output, this I will show you later. But suppose if I have evaluated the convolved output and it is obtained like this, say 2, 3, 5, 10, 3, 9. Now what the earlier property says, that you get the summation of all the value obtained in yn. What will be the summation, you tell me? What will be the summation? 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 23, okay, 32. Am I right? If all the values are summed up, they will result into 32. Okay. What about the summation of this? 2 minus 1 means 1 and 3 means 4. Okay. What about this? 7 and 8. Okay. That property says that you sum up all the value from -infinity to infinity yn, you sum up all the value from -infinity to infinity xn, and you sum up all the value from -infinity to infinity hn. What is the summed up value of xn? It is 4. What is the summed up value of hn? It is 8. If you get the multiplication of these two, it is 32. And what is this output? It is 32. Okay. This is the property of the signal obtained in yn and the signal present in hn and xn. Okay. So this you can apply for the consistent check of your obtained output, whether it is correct or not. Input is given to you, you can sum up all the value, you can sum up all the value in xn and hn, you get it multiplied, and what you have obtained because of convolution, you get the summation of this. If they are equal, then your convolution is correct, otherwise you may be wrong somewhere. So you have to further do the action. Okay. And this is also a useful method in your competitive examinations. In your competitive examination, by approaching this way, you can directly reach up to the correct alternative. Suppose if xn is given to you, hn is given to you, and yn is given in the option, in the 4 option. So you don't proceed for the processing of convolution. You simply get this check, and by this check you can simply estimate the correct answer. Okay. This will save your time. This will save your time, and time matters in competitive world. So this was the second property. Now if suppose the hn is causal, third property says that if hn is causal means hn equal to 0 for n is less than 0. This means the shape of hn will be something like this. It will be right hand sided signal. And if xn is also causal, xn is causal means xn is 0 for n is less than 0, then yn is also causal. If xn and hn are causal, this results yn to be causal, means yn will be 0 for n is less than 0. Okay. The extension of this result says that the convolution of two left hand sided signal means the signal exists only for the left hand side of the time index. The convolution of two left hand sided signal will be left hand sided output, and convolution of two right hand sided signal will be a right hand sided output. Okay. This is the third property. Now from these properties of convolution we can derive some results. and some useful convolution results are delta n convolved with any arbitrary xn is xn itself, this delta n convolved with delta n is delta n itself, impulse signal itself. Okay. Now let us perform some, let us see some easier way to obtain convolution of finite sequences. Convolution of some finite sequences. So, to deal with convolution of finite sequences, suppose I am taking example of two sequences and I will obtain the convolution of the same also. 2, 5, 0, 4. This is one of the impulse response of the system, and input is 4, 1 and 3. Okay. Now you see the time indices, this is n equal to 0, this is n equal to -1, this is n equal to -2, this is n equal to 1 for this signal. For this signal, these are the time indices. For this signal, the time indices n equal to 0, n equal to 1 and n equal to -1. Naturally, you will obtain some yn because of the convolution of these two signals. Okay. What will be the nature of that yn? Where will be the starting index of that yn? What are the number of samples before the starting index of yn, and what are the number of samples after the starting index of yn? There should be some rule. Okay. And what are the total number of samples in yn, whether they are related with the number of samples in hn and xn? Here the number of sample is 4. Number of sample means length of h is 4, and here the number of sample in xn is length of x is 3. So we will see if the length of y is somehow related with the length of h and length of x. Yes, they are related with the length of h and length of x. How? Length of y equal to length of x plus length of h minus 1. Means how many samples will be there in y? If it is having, both are having in total 7 samples, so naturally it will have 6 samples. Yn will have 6 samples. Okay. What will be the starting index? Starting index of yn? Starting index of yn will be the starting index of the sum of the starting index of hn and xn. The starting index of hn was -2 and starting index of xn was -1. So, the starting index means time from where this yn will start is -3. What is the ending index? If ending index of hn is 1, ending index of xn is 1. So, the ending index of yn will be the ending index of hn plus ending index of xn, means 1 plus 1 means 2. This means this signal will range from n equal to -3 to 2. Naturally, there will be 6 samples. Okay, got my point? So, the relation is, you may note it down, that the starting index of yn index of yn is equals to the sum of the starting indices of xn and yn. This will also be useful when you will solve MATLAB related problem of convolution in your lab. The second rule, the ending index of yn is equals to the sum of ending indices of xn and hn. And the third rule, the length ly will be equal to the length of lx plus length of lh minus 1. So these rules has to be kept in your mind while evaluating the convolution of finite sequences with some quite easier methods. The very first method that I will describe is sum by column method. Sum by column method. In this method of getting yn, if hn and xn is given to you, suppose if hn is given to you, hn is equals to 1, 2, 2, 3 with 1 as starting point, and xn is given to you, that is 2, minus 1 and 3. This is xn. Okay. Now in sum by column method, what we do, we write down the impulse response in a row like this. Suppose hn is written to be equal to 1, 2, 2 and 3. This is very easy way to evaluate convolution. You will find it very handy while solving the problem. And it is written immediately below this sample 2, minus 1 and 3. Okay. Then you write down the input in terms of impulses and then response. Input in terms of impulses, if it is this input is represented in terms of impulse, so naturally this is 2 delta n. This is 2 delta n. Okay. So if output was hn in the presence of delta n, what will be the output in the presence of 2 delta n? It is simply twice multiplied in each samples. So naturally it will be 2hn only, 2hn. And what is 2hn? Each and every this hn is multiplied by 2. So 2, 4, 4 and 6. Now if we pick up, if we see what will be the output for this input, this is minus 1 delta n minus 1. Okay. This signal is minus delta n minus 1. So simply the output, the hn will be multiplied by each and every sample will be multiplied by minus 1, and each and every sample is shifted by 1 unit in time. Okay. So simply if we do this, this will be minus 1 and shift it 1 unit in time, minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Am I right? Then for this is 3 delta, sorry, n minus 2. This input is 3 delta n minus 2. Okay. And if the output with input delta n is known, then what will be the output with 3 delta n? It will be 3 multiplied in each samples, and the resultant output is shifted in 2 unit in time. So naturally we will write the output from here. So this will be 3, 6, 6 and 9. Am I right? Now if I sum up all the values, this is 2, this is 3, this is 5, this is 10, this is 3 and this is 9. So this is resultant yn. Okay. What is the starting point of yn? there is no sample before this Hn, there is no sample before this Xn. So, there will be no sample before the starting point in Yn. So, naturally the starting point will be this. The number of samples in this is, in Hn is 4 and the number of sample in Xn is 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. So, the total number of samples in this will be 6. Okay. Now, the product method, you have to add all the value. This means 3, 5, 8, okay. And here it is 4, and this if you evaluate, and 8 multiplied by 4 is 32, and here 5, 10, 20, 23 and 32. Okay. Now, just you take another problem by the same method, it will make you comfortable. Suppose Hn is given to you is 2, 5, 0, 4 and Xn is 4, 1, 3. What will be the Yn? By sum by column method. So, naturally you will write down your Hn and Xn in a row format like this. This is 2, 5, 0, 4 and immediately below this 4, 1 and 3. You start multiplying it and you start writing your very first output immediately below this. This means 4 to the 8 and 20 and 0 and 16. Okay. When you start multiplying by this sample, you start writing immediately below this, output immediately below this. So, 2, then 5, 0 and 4. When you start multiplying by this, so you just start writing the output immediately below this. So, what will be the output? 6, 15, 0 and 12. Am I right? And you add all the values. So, this will be 8, 22 and 11 and this is 31, 4 and 12. This is your Yn. Okay. Now, what is the starting index of Yn? Where will be the starting origin point of Yn? Just before the origin point of Hn there were 2 samples, and before the origin point of Xn there was only 1 sample. So, total in Yn there should be 3 samples. There should be 3 sample before starting point. So, just after 3 samples there will be starting point. And what about ending point? After this starting point of Hn there is 1 sample. After this starting point of Xn there is 1 sample. So, in total there will be 2 samples after this. Okay. What about the length of Yn? The length of Yn will be the length of Hn and length of Xn minus 1. So, this is 4, 7 and 6. So, it will be 6. This is 6 samples. Okay. These are consistent checkpoints whether your output is correct or not. And then final check 7 and 7 and 4 11. You sum all the values 11. And what about this 5 and 8? So, 11 multiplied by 8 88. What about this? Get the summation of all the samples. This is 30, 41, okay. 41, 72, 72 and 4, 72 and 4, 76, 76, 86, 88. This is also 88. So, your convolution is correct by all the checkpoints. Okay. Let us take another last example to solve this is the first example that we have picked while solving convolution. Suppose Hn is given to you like 1, 2, 1 and minus 1 with the origin this point. This point is origin, and Xn is given to you as 1, 1 is the origin, 2, 3 and 1. So we have to obtain the convolution. It's a convolution. Graphically we have already evaluated the convolution of this signal in our very first problem. Okay. Here we are evaluating the same problem with this method. So what is the way? This is 1 multiplied in each samples, 1, 2, 1, minus 1. Then 2 multiplied with these samples, and resultant will be written immediately below this. So 2, 4 and this 2 and minus 2. Am I right? Then 3 multiplied in each samples. So this is 3, 6 and 3 and minus 3. Okay. Then 1 multiplied in each samples, and result has to be written immediately below this. So this will be 1 and 2 and 1 and minus 1. Sum all the values, 1, 4, 8 and 8 and 3 and minus 2, minus 1. Okay. This is your Yn, sequence Yn. You can see how faster this method is. Okay. Now you check what will be the starting point of this Yn. The starting point, there is one sample before this Hn and there is no sample before this. So naturally there will be one sample before the starting point of this. How many samples after the starting point? There are 2 samples and there are 3 samples. So total 5 samples. Here there are 5 samples. Okay. The length of Yn is equal to the sum of length of this and this minus 1. What about the product checkpoint? You get the summation. This is 3, 4 and then 3. This is 3 and 3, 6 and 7. 7. 3 multiplied by 7, 21. Okay. What about here? 5 and 21 and this 3 and these 3 they cancel. So the result is 21. So by this point also this is correct. Okay. Now there is another method to evaluate convolution. You can apply whichever method you find suitable in your examination or competitive examination. That method is fold, shift, multiply and sum concept. The fold, shift, multiply and sum concept. What this method says that, suppose if Hn is given to you, which is 2, 5, 0, 4, and Xn is given to you, which is 4, 1, 3. With the origin like this. Then this method says that you fold either of the sequence, either Hn or Xn. You firstly write down Hn like this, 2, 5, 0, 4, and you fold this sequence and write it on a strip. So better to visualize this strip like this and bring this strip from left side to right side, and when it will coincide with the first sample of this, then we will obtain the product. Okay. So naturally this will be 4, 1 and 3, folded version of this. If this is xn, then x minus n will be 3, 1 and 4. Am I right? This is the folded version of this. So we brought it immediately below, and here at this point they will coincide and we will obtain the multiplication result. This will be 8 and this will result into y0. Then you further shift this strip one position and this will give you say 2, 5, 0, 4. I am writing this, and then it will be 1, 4 and 3. This strip will come over here. Okay, so it will be 2 and it will be 20, and then you add all these values to obtain y1. So naturally this will be 22. Okay, this way you write down all the results. This means there will be another result, say 2, 5, 0, 4, and then 3, 1, 4 will come over here. This strip will come over here. Okay, so this will be 0, this is 20, and this is 6. So naturally this will be 26. This is y2. Okay, so this way you obtain the total sequence corresponding to yn, like this. Not 26 but something else. Okay, you may check where. Okay, I have folded it in wrong way. 3, 1, 4, huh? This is no 3, 1, 4. Okay, so this will be 6, 5 and 0. This will be 11. This is the correct result. So this way you can find the sequence yn, and which will come to be equal to your 8, 22, 11 and 31, 4 and 12, like this. Okay, so this is fold, shift, multiply and sum concept. There is another way to evaluate convolution is using polynomial multiplication. Suppose if hn is given to you, the same hn I am taking 2, 5, 0, 4 and xn is 4, 1, 3. We will form a polynomial in w or z. Okay, assuming this to be say writing this way, 4 z is to the power 0, starting from z is to the power 0, then 0 z is to the power 1, then 5 z is to the power 2. It will be more clear to you when you will study your z transform. Then 2 z is to the power 3. This you can say that this is hz, and then you write it in another polynomial form, say 3 z is to the power 0 plus 1 z is to the power 1 plus 4 z is to the power 2, and you get these two polynomials multiplied. You get the multiplication of these two polynomials. Okay, and that multiplication, result of that multiplication, the coefficient of say 4 to the 8 z is to the power 5, and then 20 z is to the power 4, and then 0. Okay, this is z is to the power 1. Okay, so this will be no problem, no harm. This is z is to the power 3. You can say the sample is 0, and then 4 z is to the power 0 means it is 1, and 16 z square. Okay, this way you obtain all the coefficients. Okay, and these coefficient will result into the output sample value. Okay, you can decide what is origin. You can very easily decide what is origin. simply by looking at the origin point in these two samples. Okay. So, this way you can obtain the convolution of any given signal. Okay. So, this is all about for today. You can also obtain deconvolution using polynomial division method. Deconvolution means if suppose yn is given to you, if yn is given to you, you form a polynomial corresponding to that yn, and if either of the xn or hn is given to you, you form a polynomial for xn or hn and you get it divided. Polynomial of yn is divided by polynomial of say xn to obtain polynomial of hn, and this polynomial of hn will give you the signal contained in hn. So, this way you can perform the deconvolution also, opposite of convolution. Okay. So, this is all about your convolution process. From next lecture we will proceed for solution of difference equation, means way to obtain yn. This is way to obtain yn using convolution method. There may be other methods also to obtain yn, and the other methods are the solution of difference equation, that we will discuss in our next lecture, in our next class tomorrow. So, thanks for hearing this.